to the exact point of what I was going to say.
I thank God for that. But what you want to do is not eat all that you cook for yourself.
Growing up in the country, you know, that's what I see my grandmother and most people, you know. They don't cook the even amount, the amount for everybody inside of the house. Because it's a way of showing kindness. You cook and tell yourself, say, hey, you know, some things somebody have a pass through for dinner. So you're cooking a way where you can, you know, somebody come here or somebody. Yes, somebody way out here, you know, you just give them some food.
Right. Is that proven or is just something you feel?
She never cooked exactly where cooking is concerned. She just cook, and if you come and you want food, right. Food is there. Yes. What's up?
National Stadium. And so the place they called Mascam, is that like a particular place or is just a parking lot outside?
They use the parking lot.
As when I came the last time, I was trying to figure out if it was a...
Yeah, Mascam was where ATL art houses.
Yes.
It used to be here, so why it's a bus rock.
Make you talk mad and all them kind of thing. You believe that? I see. So you put up with that one.
Oh, there's a shooting range over there.
Oh, I see.
I understand you as a clean living man, you know, and I appreciate that.
Jamaica Rifle Association.
Yeah, I was up in Blue Mountain. I walked up to Newcastle, and they were practicing on a shooting thing, so you could hear the gunshot going off. And they posted some fools along the way to stop you at certain points. So you have to wait. And then even the traffic, you make the car park wait, and then they let you through.
Afternoon, sir. I enjoy that conversation. I do too, you know. He's a well thought out man with a linguistic twist. Of course. I heard you say that the sport of sizes can influence hard health. Yes. Yeah, it's true because
well, for me, still that's something when we practice, when we try to practice it.
Portion control.
To some extent. Reason why. Alright, you see me, I get up this morning and me eat. Have breakfast.
Yeah,
depending on what we eat.
Because they're not really sure when next they're going to get
have lunch.
A meal. Yeah.
Having lunch.
But I think
sometimes I have lunch, like when I eat lunch.
Right.
You know, 2 o'clock, 1 nutrition. Depends. And when we go home, sometimes the only thing we do is eat some crackers and drink a cup of tea. Going home into the evening, we might buy a piece of pine, we might buy a melon, we might buy a piece of cantaloupe, something like that, you know? Right. Something where food is concerned. Sometimes we go home, the only thing we have is drink a glass of water and eat some crackers and drink a cup of tea. And that's me good. If I'm not moving about, you don't get me eat anything after I eat it.
That is the case of many I come into contact with.
Not the heavy.
Some of us who pontificate about these things fail to recognize.
Yeah, they say your heaviest meal should be actually in the morning to give you fuel. And then as the day wind down, you should lessen your portions down. So you don't go to bed with a big heavy stomach or try digest. Because that's what will keep you awake longer.
Because frankly speaking, the back then way back, well, very younger, you know, probably 20 or down to the 30s. Realize the night time I go to bed and wake up in the morning, I'm tired.
I'm going to ask Mrs. Chen that very
I go to my doctor and I say, Doc,
but
nonsense. I go to bed early and wake up and I'm tired, man. What's going on, man? Him say, what you eat tonight? What time you eat tonight? I say, Doc, you have a habit, you wake up and I make a night and eat. So you need to cut it out. You say, you maybe not reach the age yet, but soon and very soon, the age, you're gonna have to stop. It's not healthy. Certain every food you don't eat after certain hour. It's not right.
Because they're so nice. One of it is the
you know, it's funny you give me something to think about because I do the same thing. I tend to eat late.
Yeah.
But I just not really eat. And then when we get home and we get hungry now, I'm coming home and do all kind of things and suddenly I eat dinner. It's like almost 9 o'clock.
And me, as Mr. Tweet said, the portion, I mean, plate of when it comes to food. Yes, I'm serious. So, I mean, you know, after a while, we stop. And more so, when we take it even more serious, you know, when we age, we start to, you know, so certain age and start to realize, after the doctor tell me, after 8 o'clock at night time, very rare. You see me eat something, alright, like sometime I see you go out country and go, you know, the country and you go be a should buy like fried fish, like buy fish, right, and like fish and mashed potato, you know, that not really, what do you call it now, stay in your system that long, right, because it's kind of light, but like the extra every food, so very careful, big every food. If you do anything like that, I might drink a cup of oats porridge. That's it.
The only way you can influence is a thing which is called chunking, and that's done by rote learning. The only way you're going to develop fluency is by rote learning. She's not saying that you mustn't understand the concept, you know. But what she's saying, and I've seen it in my classes, for example, a student who has difficulty with timetables, when you introduce them to fractions or percentages or any of these other things, the amount of time they take and they get frustrated because they are not fluent in timetables, that the whole system collapses.
But surely, Mr. Bancho, it's not an either or. No one could credibly claim that there are not certain basic aspects of learning that do not have to be reduced to or elevated to memory in order that they can become the basic tools for higher order skills. But I think the criticism is that too much of education has been devoted to that, yes, when in fact there has to be a conscious transition at the early stages from from rote to usage to fluency generally. I mean, it's one of the thoughts with the greatest of respect and admiration for the spelling bee that I have had. You can learn to spell any word by memorizing it, but to be able to use it, to know its meaning first and to use it fluently, surely that is a higher order skill than simply to be able to be orthographically correct.
Tell me something. One of my favorite, I should say favorite, but one of my most notable Jamaican phrases.
Okay.
I always start with, let me tell you something.
Yeah. Listen.
That's the common run of the mill. What they haven't done is rote learning, but in chunks. They call them chunks.
And I think I'm understanding it, you know.
Yeah, because just an example. I love playing this online game. A student introduced me to this thing called asphalt game. And
Asphalt, eh?
yes, it's like
Yeah.
and what I find is that
emissions derived. Yes, I follow you. Good news. Thanks for the strong words. Check you again. Good then. We take a break. We're at the Heart Foundation. It's Heart Month. So come.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now.
Today's weather brief is brought to you by Hypro Feeds.
Hypro Feeds, the farmer's first choice.
This year, the Hypro rewards are bigger and better. Bigger. One lucky winner will drive home a 2017 Toyota RAV4. Better. With over 30,000 winners from now until July 29 to rewards. Yeah, miss you. Every week, we're giving away over 1,000 prizes, such as $30,000 towards a quarter farm store purchase, bags of feed, $2,500 to spend at your local farm store, or thousands of dollars in digits of credit. Simply purchase a qualifying Hypro product to enter. It pays to grow with Hypro.
Now for today's weather brief. There's a high-pressure ridge across the northern Caribbean and Jamaica. The high-pressure ridge will remain across the region until Monday. Thereafter, a frontal system will move across the northwestern Caribbean. This afternoon, widely scattered showers, especially over central and western parishes and hilly areas of eastern parishes. Tonight, partly cloudy. The information for today's weather brief was supplied by the Meteorological Service of Jamaica. Today's weather brief was brought to you by Hypro Feeds.
Hypro Feeds, the farmer's first choice.
Life does not stand still. As we adapt to changing times, we have new dreams. At Steckle, we work around the clock to turn dreams into reality. We lend a hand to our community to create opportunities. We grow with our people to achieve new goals. Continue to build on a sound foundation. Steckle, this is home. Strong, safe, secure. St. Elizabeth Cooperative Credit Union, your leader in changing lives.
Live coverage of Power Talk with Ronnie Thwaites from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica Heart Month podcast at 28 Beechwood Avenue is brought to you by Fosca Oats, Heart Foundation of Jamaica promoting heart health in Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable and quality roads. Lasco Foods and National Health Fund NHF.
Before Team 2 at the Heart Foundation on Beechwood Avenue. You need to note down their address, their coordinates. I'll give them to you before we sign off today. This is a place that groups, individuals should come, get assessed, know your condition. Yes, there's nothing, there's no shame in being found that you have a problem of hypertension or some kind of cardiac illness. The problem is if you don't know, if you don't try and find out, if you don't do anything about it, you know. This is Debbie Jen, you know, just reflecting on today's broadcast and today's events. Look where we're coming from. 15, 20 years. How old is the Heart Foundation?
47 years this year. 46.
Can you, do you sometimes reflect on the sense of people's understanding that has developed over the years?
Yes, it has evolved, but part of it is that the market around us, the environment has also changed. So in terms of, we're discussing food and nutrition, there's a lot more marketing, there's a lot more processed food, there's a lot more choices out there. So years ago when we first started operation, this wouldn't have been so relevant because people were still with the ground provisions and so on. So the environment has changed, and now there's a lot more temptation, the glitzy glamour ads promoting all sorts of things, some healthy, some not so healthy. And so it has changed, and we have to move with it too.
That takes me directly to the sense I have that the activity of the Heart Foundation and your supporters is countercultural because you're fighting against major strong forces in the society,
definitely.
which are not as mindful as they should be, to put it mildly, of the consequence of various lifestyle habits to heart, to cardiovascular health. And therefore, although more and more people are conscious of what their risks are, what they must do, the enticements to do all of dangerous things.
Yes, the environment is not as healthy as it should be, and this is why earlier we were talking about policies.
Yes.
And this is why policies governing things like advertising know, it needs from the top level to look at those. And it's a globalization too, you know, it's not just Jamaica, it's the whole, everything is global now in terms of even our food labels and everything. It's a globalization, and it is big money. It's big money, and sometimes the quest to make money, people lose sight or ignore the impact that maybe their products are having on health, some worse than others.
Most truthful statement ever.
What we needed to do was to encourage purveyors of food,
The most
purveyors of
truthful
health
statement.
to make their offerings, their products, more congenial to heart health.
Yes, that's
You're not putting them out of business except for the tobacco merchants. There's no way that they can be redeemed.
No, yes, those are out of the question.
So
But
much is done in the name of money.
Because you have a lot of companies
At the
that
expense
have a
of,
myriad of products. You'll have a
quality
distributor,
of
for
life
example,
and
they may sell hundreds of products, and some of those are healthy enough. And we encourage that, and the Heart Foundation will partner with those products. But of
sometimes
course,
they
we
get
can't
decision
touch
to walk
some of
away
them
from the
because
money so
they're
you can
not
have
healthy. So
your life
I'm
and your
hoping that
dignity
from
and
the
your...
public end, the demand will increase
sell
for
your
the
soul.
products that are more healthy, and decrease for the ones that are least heart healthy on the other end. They still make money, and so there'll be still business people still making their profit. We will be healthier.
But let me ask a direct question. I think of the fast food industry with this heavy concentration on sweet stuff and on cholesterol risking products.
Yes.
Surely the part of the advocacy of the Heart Foundation and your supporters has to be to say to those, listen now, you don't need to sell those things. Can you do it a different way? Can you produce other things that are more congenial to healthy lifestyle than what you have? And it seems to me that they're likely to be receptive to that.
Well, they have tried again. You see, it's market driven as well, isn't it? Because then but a lot of the fast food places have started putting a healthier option on the menu. As to how well it is doing, I'm not too sure, but some of them will have water, for example, so you don't have to buy the aerated beverages, and most of them will have a salad as opposed to maybe just some fried stuff. And some places might grill the chicken as opposed to frying it. So I think there is a move in that direction. But of course, they're going to go where the money is, and if the public is not sufficiently sensitized enough to the impact on their health and so on, then they're going to continue buying, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So they buy, the company gets money, and it just keeps going round and round.
Is there any truth in the anecdote that our local foods are perhaps healthier than many of the things from abroad that we have become addicted to?
I would think so. I mean, grown provision. Look at grown provisions, for example, and the fiber that you get from those.
Somebody asked me about breadfruit. I wonder if you know. They were asking if breadfruit is a heart healthy.
Yeah, sure. Yes, breadfruit is that's part of a balanced diet. Breadfruit, yam, dasheen, cocoa, green banana.
Yes.
Those are the things that we should really be having because it has fiber.
Yes.
And when we eat with the fiber,
Jamaica,
it aids our
around here.
digestion
So
to go through our
pull up
body
there, that's good.
slowly. The nutrients that need to be taken out are taken out, and so on. So anything with fiber is like fruits. If you have a fruit and you eat the fruit directly,